Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. We both got our Blues jerseys on. St. Louis Blues return home to St. Louis to hopefully wrap up that series against Minnesota tonight. You think they can do it?
If the Blues win, they will, of course. It'll be a 4-2 win over the Minnesota Wild. It really behooves them to win this one. Now, you know how I feel about home ice and hockey. I don't really feel it's all that significant. And the Blues have won 2 games on Minnesota ice. But you don't want to take another chance.
No.
So if Minnesota happens to win tonight, it forces a Game 7, and the Minnesota Wild have the home ice advantage, quote, unquote. So we'll see. But, yeah, I really feel like the Blues will play well. They're the stronger of the two teams, in my opinion. They're the more aggressive of the two teams, and they had a 4-0 advantage over the Wild before the Stanley Cup playoffs began. So I think Minnesota will fall down tonight, and I think the St. Louis Blues get the win.
I hope you are right. Let's go Blues. What time does that match start?
They all have them figured for 8:30, and that's for television purposes.
Late night, man. But I got to stay up and watch that one. All right, so Springfield Catholic, I heard, just got a new basketball coach. Is that right?
Their coach, Jack Simpson, who's a Kickapoo product and just out of college, really did a great job with the Catholic team this year. Took them to the Final Four, which, of course, was here in town. Really had an outstanding team. Well, he has left Catholic and will be the new coach at Parkview. So Catholic's new coach, and they're not missing a beat here, reportedly is going to be Jay Osborne, who stepped down from Nixa about 3 or 4 weeks ago and retired. He retired from the public school system. But you can do this, and that's what he's going to do, stay here in town and coach basketball. That's according to all the reports. And Catholic has made, if that is the case, and we suspect it is, it will be a great hire for Springfield Catholic, because Jay is a very good coach.
He absolutely is, and still got a long career ahead of him, but he's already on the right path, really. That's really cool. Last but not least, got a golf tournament happening pretty close to us this weekend, don't we?
This is the Byron Nelson Classic that is going on this weekend, and this is the prelude to the PGA National, which begins next week. The PGA, of course, is being played in Tulsa at Southern Hills. The Byron Nelson Classic down in Texas, but this is a really good warm-up. Most of the pros will be playing in this competition. The paycheck is pretty good for the winners. It's $1 million. And indeed, the top pros will be getting their game in shape. Now, I'm interested to see how Tiger Woods, he's not going to play. He hasn't played in any tournament other than the Masters. Well, he's apparently going to play in the PGA next week, and this is without any warm-ups at all. He warms up on his own and plays in his own competition. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it's the Byron Nelson Classic coming up this week.
Well, exciting times, and now I know I'll be taking my naps this weekend. So Cardinals and Royals out on the field yesterday. How'd they do?
Both got wins. How about this? Cardinals were big winners over the Baltimore Orioles, 10-1. This guy, Juan Yepez, who was a Springfield Cardinal last year, about 365 days ago, was called up into the big club from Memphis on May 3rd, and he has played in 7 games, and he's hit safely in all 7 of them. This guy is carrying a torrid bat. Now, keep in mind, some of that is because pitchers don't know how to pitch to him. They don't know anything about him. There's no book. Once they get the book, well, things begin to calm down a bit. But you ride that horse while you can.
You do.
And he had a home run last night. It's his second as a St. Louis Cardinal. And the Cardinals are big winners. Miles Michaelis on the hill again. He doesn't overpower anybody, doesn't strike out a whole lot of batters. He just beats you. And he beat the Baltimore Orioles. 10-1 was the final. Now, the Kansas City Royals finally woke up, playing down in Texas last night. They knocked off the Texas Rangers 8-2. Bobby Witt and Emmanuel Rivera both had 3 RBIs apiece, and that really does help. Kansas City needed that win badly. Incidentally, the Cardinals play this afternoon, and the Royals and Rangers play tonight before embarking on their weekend series, which will both be very interesting. Anyway, 2 wins for those ball clubs.
Who are they playing this weekend?
The Cardinals or Royals?
Both.
Well, the Cardinals will take on the San Francisco Giants, and the Royals go to Denver, take on the Colorado Rockies. Interleague play.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens there. Cardinals in town actually had a couple back-to-back kiddie games this week. Was that something that helped or hurt?
Well, it helps in a lot of respects because it really exposes the kids to baseball, professional baseball, and helps to promote the game, which, in my opinion, is the greatest game in the world. But, of course, that'll receive a lot of arguments from other people. Nonetheless, they had 4,500 yesterday at Hammons Field, another kids' game. This time the Amarillo Sod Poodles came away with a victory, 9-4. Springfield has an up-and-down team. They are good. They're not really together. They can hit. They've got some very good long ball power on their team. Pitching a little bit on the shaky side, but nonetheless, it was Amarillo the winner by a score of 9-4. So that series is now continuing, but the games from here on in will be at night. Played tonight, Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. In the meantime, Missouri State will play morning games starting tomorrow against Illinois State. A late morning game on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Of course, they have to intersperse the schedules, but hey, that's the way it works.
Man, that staff at Hammons Field is working overtime right now. But more importantly, I thought you were more of a racing fan than a baseball fan, man.
No. Baseball all the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding. All right, so NBA playoffs last. How's that going?
Milwaukee Bucks go to Boston and knocked off the Boston Celtics 110-107, and Milwaukee leads that series now 3-2. So now the seventh and deciding game comes up in Milwaukee. This will be a very interesting match. The Bucks are a very good team. They're the defending NBA champions. They should be playing well. And Boston has just been a pain in the backside to them. But Bucks get the win by a score of 110-107. Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors. Memphis had to win, and they did, 134-95. All right, the Warriors lead that series 3-2, and now they have a great chance to wrap it up here in the next several days. So we'll see what happens.
That's exciting stuff. If you're into basketball, baseball, racing, golf, you're eating well right now. Even football. We just had OTAs. Sports time all the time. Ned, you have a great Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow.